ChatGPT's WWE'12 universe mode is back. What will happen as ChatGPT takes total control over booking an entire year of one of the greatest editions of universe mode? We've seen some wild angles and some big moments, but the pandemonium will only continue. Let's get into it. On the first episode of Raw, the show opens up with Triple H in the ring, reflecting on his recent loss to Kane in the WWE Championship Triple Threat match. He's interrupted by Randy Orton, who blames Triple H for his inability to capture the title. Tensions escalate, with both men exchanging harsh words. General Manager GPT announces a number 1 contenders match between Orton and Triple H later in the night, with the winner facing Kane at the next pay-per-view. Mason Ryan is in the ring, addressing his decision to go solo. Zack Ryder and Ted DiBiase interrupt, mocking Ryan, suggesting he's out of his depth and can't make it without them. This would spark an impromptu match between Ryan and Ryder, where the two clashed in a bitter battle of feelings. Mason Ryan's power was on display and he would ultimately pick up the victory, although after the match, DiBiase blindsides Ryan and he and Ryder attack him, leaving him down in the ring as they taunt him about the mistake he made by leaving them. William Regal takes on R-Truth in a hard-hitting match. Regal's technical prowess challenges R-Truth, but R-Truth counters with his agility and speed. After a competitive contest, R-Truth secures a big victory. The main event brings Triple H and Randy Orton going head-to-head to determine the number 1 contender for Kane's WWE Championship. In a physical and intense bout, both men bring their best. The match sees several near falls and crucial reversals, ending with Orton hitting an RKO for the win, earning his shot at the title at the Fatal 4-Way Pay-Per-View. Over on SmackDown, Alberto Del Rio opens the show declaring himself the top contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Sheamus interrupts, making it clear that he's willing to take on anyone at Fatal 4-Way. CM Punk then steps in, claiming his loss on Sunday was a fluke that won't happen again. The in-ring action opens up with an exciting matchup, Rey Mysterio vs Drew McIntyre. This makes for a strong start to SmackDown with Rey's quickness versus Drew's brute strength. Mysterio picks up the victory with a 619, impressing the crowd and strengthening his case to be considered a contender. In a backstage interview, Jack Swagger complains that he deserves to be in the title picture as well, mocking all of the potential contenders. Christian overhears and challenges Swagger to prove himself against him tonight. Chavo Guerrero and Yoshitatsu are set to compete in the next match. Chavo's frustration and disbelief of coming short and recapturing the Cruiserweight Championship is apparent here, as he picks up the level of aggression in his match. Yoshitatsu is a tough competitor, but Chavo steamrolls his opponent here. Main event time. Jack Swagger and Christian are going to bring their issues with one another to the ring. Jack Swagger uses his aggressive style, wearing Christian down throughout the contest. Christian wasn't going to back down, and was determined to regain footing in the main event scene. After a closely contested match, Jack Swagger delivers a gut-wrench powerbomb for the victory, sending a message that he intends to be in the title hunt. The show opens with WWE Champion Kane in the ring, delivering a menacing promo. He speaks about his dominance and how no one on Raw can match his ruthlessness, with Kane warning Orton that if he wants to challenge him, he better be prepared for the consequences. In a backstage interview, Mason Ryan vows to get even with Ryder and DiBiase for last week's ambush. He challenges DiBiase to a singles match tonight, declaring that he's not intimidated by either of them. The first match of the night has got the split-branded tag team champions taking on the team of Cody Rhodes and Dolph Ziggler. Rhodes and Ziggler have each picked up a bit of momentum since coming over to Monday nights, and an exciting match came about here. These two young stars in the making have got a huge opportunity to knock off some all-time greats in Edge and Christian, although they've got some work to do as the champions are able to stand tall here. Mason Ryan and Ted DiBiase are set to face off next. Ted DiBiase attempts to mitigate Ryan's power, however the animal look-alike withstands the onslaught as well as an attempted interference by Zack Ryder. Mason Ryan comes away victorious, but after the match, an unhinged R-Truth takes out both competitors. In the main event, the WWE Champion Kane is in action against another powerful foe, Ezekiel Jackson. This was a clash that highlighted the ferocity of the WWE Champion, as Kane's disregard for his opponents is more than apparent as he dismantled a more than formidable opponent. The night ends with the champion making a statement that he has no intentions of being upstaged. To open the next episode of SmackDown, heavyweight champion Sheamus confronts general manager GPT, demanding that the Fatal 4-Way contenders be finalized tonight. The general manager agrees, announcing qualifying matches to finalize who will challenge for the title. In the first match of the night, Rey Mysterio and Mark Henry find themselves facing off once more. There's a severe size discrepancy between these two, but we know that's not going to stop Rey from giving Mark Henry a fight. Rey's agility would keep him in the match, but Mark Henry's strength would eventually overpower the luchador, with the victory going to the world's strongest man. The next qualifying match features the Intercontinental Champion Wade Barrett going head-to-head with Jack Swagger. This is a hard-hitting match between two determined heavyweights. Wade Barrett has been building a bit of momentum as of late, but Jack Swagger has been on a roll and will truly pose a test. This match is tightly contested, with neither man able to establish any separation. The match would go on without a definite victor as Drew McIntyre interfered and sabotaged Jack Swagger, putting an end to their short-lived alliance, advancing Wade Barrett to the world title match at the pay-per-view. Chavo Guerrero confronts new Cruiserweight champion Sin Cara, claiming his days as champion are numbered and Chavo will take what is rightfully his. The main event of the evening has got two rivals eager to upstage the other, clashing in a big match to determine the final challenger at Fatal 4-Way for the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk and Alberto Del Rio hold nothing back when going at the other. Del Rio eager for his first taste of WWE Gold, and CM Punk focused to avenge his quick elimination at Over the Limit. Del Rio tries for the cross arm breaker, but Punk counters and nails a GTS for the win, earning a spot in the Fatal 4-Way. Back on Raw, number one contender Randy Orton, who is scheduled in the main event, had been found severely beaten backstage yet again, leaving his status for not only tonight in question, but Sunday as well. Mason Ryan is scheduled for a match against a local competitor, but Zack Ryder and Ted DiBiase attack him during his entrance, brutally ambushing him. They throw him into the ring and demand a referee start the match. The booked singles match is changed to a handicap match, and despite the numbers against him, Mason Ryan didn't back down and began to rally a comeback against his former stablemates. However, the damage done before the match was too much to overcome, and Ryder and DiBiase pick up a win over their former enforcer. Dolph Ziggler continues to collect momentum as he secures another victory on Raw, this time over R-Truth. The main event has got John Morrison and Big Show teaming against John Cena, seemingly without his supposed tag team partner, Randy Orton. However, Randy Orton miraculously makes his way to the ring to compete in the match this evening, showing his grit and determination to prove he won't be deterred. Kane crashes the match, targeting Orton. Kane then delivers a huge chokeslam through the announce table, with the show closing with a close-up of Kane standing over him with the WWE Championship raised, signaling that he's ready for their clash at the pay-per-view. On the final episode of SmackDown before the pay-per-view, CM Punk, Mark Henry, and Wade Barrett are in the ring, discussing the upcoming title match at the Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view, with each challenger making their claim why they will be champion after Sunday. Sheamus interrupts, confident that he will overcome any challenge posed. Evan Bourne tries his hand with a new tag team partner, Kofi Kingston, as they take on the team of Santino Marella and Vladimir Kozlov. Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston make for an exciting pair, with a high-octane offense propelling them towards a victory. Backstage, Alberto Del Rio is livid after his loss to Punk. He issues a challenge to Christian, who is seen snickering at Del Rio, for a match, determined to show he's worthy of a title shot in the future. This bout would take place directly after the break, and Alberto Del Rio and Christian had locked horns. Both guys are on the outside looking in at the title match come Sunday, but can move themselves forward and back on track with a win here. This exchange went back and forth between two more than capable competitors, and in the end, Alberto Del Rio was able to secure a victory. Chavo Guerrero would pick up a win in Cruiserweight action against Yoshitatsu, as he aims to make another challenge for the title in the near future. To add insult to injury, an unprovoked Maurice came to the ring and hit Tatsu with a low blow, truly kicking the man while he's down. Rey Mysterio cuts a promo about his title aspirations and intentions to stay on top of the match card. Wade Barrett interrupts this promo, stating Rey's time has passed him by. Mysterio would then challenge Barrett to a match for his spot in the Fatal 4-Way on Sunday. The Intercontinental Champion would accept the match, and the main event began. Rey and Barrett delivered another exciting bout with a shot at the world title on the line. The match was intense, and neither man was going to give in easily. However, in the end, it was Wade Barrett who came away victorious and took the final place of the title match. The Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view is here, and to start the evening, we've got action in the women's division. Layla is set to defend her championship against Beth Phoenix, Eve Torres, and Natalya. Layla faces a steep challenge if she intends on retaining her title as women's champion, as she's got three competitors with their sights set on upending her title reign. An unpredictable Fatal 4-Way tables match would determine the champion walking out. While Beth Phoenix had been dominant within the women's division, the volatile nature of the match meant anybody could walk away victorious. In the end, It would be Beth Phoenix to come out on top after sending the champion through a table in a definitive conclusion. Sin Cara is set to make his first appearance as Cruiserweight Champion and will do so by putting his title on the line in a fatal 4-way match between 4 established Cruiserweights and High Flyers, as Chavo Guerrero, Evan Bourne, and Rey Mysterio were here to end the reign of the Masked Champion. The exciting showdown carried just as much volatility as the match before it, the theme of the evening. A battle of wills was brought forth in this one, as the slim outcome of victory would bring out the best in the challengers and champion alike. The fans in attendance couldn't help but appreciate the determination shown by these cruiserweights, though something eventually had to give, and in the end, Rey Mysterio would claim the title as his own and walk out as champion. John Morrison will be defending his United States Championship in another multi-man contest this evening, as Dolph Ziggler, Cody Rhodes, and R-Truth stand in his way of calling himself the United States Champion. All 4 of these competitors have intentions of establishing themselves as premier talent on Monday Night Raw, and equipping a prestigious title will certainly aid in that pursuit. Each of these challengers have won matches leading up to this event, though John Morrison's battle with John Cena and other Hall of Famers has seasoned him enough to be able to come out on top of this one, still the United States Champion. In the only one-on-one match we've got this evening, Randy Orton is looking to challenge Kane for the WWE Championship, mano a mano. There have been a number of factors that have prevented these two from squaring off and determining the rightful WWE Champion, though tonight one will be crowned as the best in the business. Kane has been on a relentless, dominating run since coming back to Raw last year, and has every intention of continuing this hostile takeover of Monday nights, while Randy Orton, fighting for his own glory and notoriety, now finds himself also fighting for the preservation of the competitive spirit found on Monday nights. These two are no strangers either, as their paths have been intertwined since WrestleMania, and Kane has made an effort to weaken Randy Orton as much as possible coming into this one. Randy put up an admirable fight, but the monster known as Kane once again turns in a ferocious performance, downing another challenger as he retains the WWE Championship. Our final match of the night is another fatal 4-way, this time with Sheamus defending his newly won World Heavyweight title against 3 contenders dead set on making names for themselves. CM Punk, a former champion, has been fighting his way back into title contention since he lost it all of those months ago. Wade Barrett, Intercontinental Champion, looking to take over the WWE alongside his Nexus running mates, and Mark Henry, a monster awoken experiencing a career resurgence. Sheamus has faced many different challenges throughout his time as WWE Champion back on Raw, and has a plethora of new challenges awaiting him here on SmackDown if he can survive this test. The match's momentum swung in every which way, with every star nearly cashing in on the championship opportunity. But after the smoke of battle had cleared, it was Sheamus, standing tall, still the World Heavyweight Champion to end the night. The following episode of Monday Night Raw kicks off with Kane addressing the WWE Universe, asserting his dominance as WWE Champion. He claims he has beaten every major star in WWE and that no one can challenge him. Suddenly, the lights dim, and the crowd erupts as Lesnar's music hits, and he makes a thunderous entrance to confront Kane. The two engage in a tense face-off, with Lesnar silently staring down the champion before leaving without a word, building anticipation. In the first match of the night, Daniel Bryan and William Regal put on a technical masterclass. These two stars possess incredible in-ring prowess and display their capabilities for the fans in attendance. This match was hard-hitting that featured plenty of mat-based offense and was sure to entertain. In the end, Daniel Bryan would force William Regal to submit. General Manager GPT is in the ring for the next segment, recounting the injury suffered by The Miz weeks ago. Since The Miz is in fact in possession of the Money in the Bank briefcase, the contract is going to be vacated and determined at the next pay-per-view, where it will now hold its own event going forward. The first match to determine one of the men who will be competing for the Money in the Bank briefcase will feature John Morrison going one-on-one with Goldust. The United States Champion has been on a roll and just defended his championship against 3 formidable competitors the night prior. Morrison's momentum continues here as he picks up a victory and cements his place in the iconic ladder match. John Cena is back in the main event on Raw as he is prepared to go one-on-one with another familiar adversary, Big Show. A clash of these familiar foes was on deck to headline the night, and both were eager to prove they belonged atop the men's division here on Raw. An intense battle came from these two, but it was cut short after Brock Lesnar invaded the main event, leaving both men down as a new threat had arrived on Raw. The first episode of SmackDown following the Fatal 4-Way Pay-Per-View opens up with World Champion Sheamus in the ring, boasting about his victory and standing atop of the SmackDown mountain so quickly. CM Punk interrupts, sarcastically congratulating Sheamus and tells him that he might be champion for now, but he's already set his sights on the title. General Manager GPT books Sheamus in a non-title match tonight against Mark Henry and announces that qualifying matches for the Money in the Bank ladder match will begin tonight. The first match is a Money in the Bank qualifier pitting Kofi Kingston and Drew McIntyre to face off against one another. These two former Intercontinental Champions have been struggling to gain momentum as of late, but have a big opportunity in front of them. In an exciting back and forth match, Kofi Kingston qualifies for the Money in the Bank, countering McIntyre's Future Shock DDT and landing a Trouble in Paradise for the win. A salty McIntyre would lure Kofi into a vulnerable position, allowing the Chosen One to walk out here with a leg up on Kofi. We've got tag team action up next as the team of Evan Bourne and Yoshitatsu are once again tagging alongside one another, facing the team of Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel. Tatsu and Bourne have got the crowd going with their exciting offense. However, Slater and Gabriel were able to hang around long enough to secure a win thanks to a 450 splash from Justin Gabriel. After another loss, the tensions between Evan Bourne and Yoshitatsu can no longer be ignored. Alberto Del Rio approaches Rey Mysterio backstage, mocking his size and Cruiserweight Championship, claiming he doesn't belong in the main event conversation. Rey tells Del Rio to back up his words in the ring, and they agree to face off next week. The main event is a hard-hitting encounter between two powerful competitors, the world's strongest man Mark Henry going toe-to-toe with the World Heavyweight Champion Sheamus. While this is a match we've seen before, Mark Henry truly has a massive opportunity in front of him should he pick up a victory over the champion. Defeating the Celtic Warrior is much easier said than done though, evidenced as Sheamus wins after a grueling brawl by landing a brogue kick. After the match, CM Punk blindsides Sheamus, hitting him with the GTS and holding up the World Heavyweight title to close the show. Monday Night Raw opens up with Brock Lesnar in a rare promo calling out Kane, saying he's back to reclaim WWE Gold. He vows to end Kane's title reign. Big Show interrupts, saying he's not going to let Lesnar waltz in and claim the top spot without proving himself. Lesnar smirks and leaves, accepting the unspoken challenge. The in-ring action is kicked off with another Money in the Bank qualifying match. Cody Rhodes and Dolph Ziggler face off in a battle of up-and-comers with tons of potential. Cody Rhodes, a former Intercontinental Champion, has got his hands full as Dolph Ziggler has been on quite a roll as of late. These two stole the show and put on a phenomenal match here on Monday night as the magnitude of the opportunity of the Money in the Bank ladder match is displayed. This match would take its toll on both competitors, and it truly came down to the wire, though Cody Rhodes would not be able to overcome the show-off, as a zigzag would end the match and secure Dolph's spot in the pay-per-view. Competitive tag team action is on deck up next as the team of the VIP attempt to get back on track against a tough combination of Mason Ryan and Daniel Bryan. The Ryan-Bryan connection made for an extremely tough opposition as Ryder and DiBiase failed to get much offense going and ultimately took the loss here, resulting in apparent frustrations between the two. The main event has the returning Brock Lesnar in action for the first time, and he's got a massive opponent in the Big Show. In a brutal showdown, Lesnar showcases his raw power by matching Big Show's strength and staggering stature, finishing him with an F5 for the decisive win. After the match, Kane appears on the stage in intimidating fashion, but Lesnar stares him down, unflinching. Back on SmackDown, another Money in the Bank qualifying match is on our hands as Intercontinental Champion Wade Barrett is going one-on-one with Tyson Kidd, and thanks to a Wasteland Slam, Wade Barrett punched his ticket into the Money in the Bank ladder match with intentions of taking over the WWE. CM Punk and Sheamus share an intense moment backstage, where Punk is mocking the champion, predicting his demise. Sheamus offers Punk to take his issues to the ring for a fight tonight, setting up the main event. Rey Mysterio and Alberto Del Rio are set to face off in a match booked the week prior, as Rey is looking to wipe the smirk off Alberto Del Rio and shut him up for good. While Del Rio has been getting under the skin of SmackDown competitors, he has been backing up his talk with impressive performances. In a heated match, Rey looks set to win after a 619, though Del Rio is able to withstand the aerial onslaught and locks in the cross armbreaker, making Rey tap out. Del Rio celebrates, emphasizing that he is the most valuable competitor on SmackDown. The main event has got Sheamus and CM Punk putting the microphones down and their fists up. These two instantly start tearing the other down as soon as the bell rang, with CM Punk needing to make a statement to stay in the title picture, while Sheamus is facing the pressure of being champion and wants to show there isn't a challenge he'll back down from. After a fierce and intense battle, Sheamus wins via disqualification when Punk uses a chair. After the bell, Punk continues the assault on Sheamus, targeting the champion in an attempt to weaken him for a future title shot. The following Monday opens up with the final Money in the Bank qualifying match on the Raw end, as Daniel Bryan will go head-to-head with another fresh face in Michael McGillicuddy. These two young additions to the roster have bright futures ahead in this universe mode, and can kickstart early success with a win here and making a splash at the pay-per-view. Ted DiBiase Jr. would even make a puzzling appearance to shake things up. This would cause a slight rift in the match, however, Bryan's explosiveness and opportune offense gave him the edge, securing his win and spot in the coveted ladder match. Following his win, Ted DiBiase Jr. would return to the ring, beating down Daniel Bryan. Cody Rhodes and John Morrison get into a confrontation, with Rhodes accusing John Morrison of being unworthy of the briefcase. Cody Rhodes would mock Morrison's past failures, while the United States Champion retaliated by challenging Rhodes to back up his words in the ring. This would lead to an impromptu match after a commercial break, as the two combatants headed in two different directions on Sunday square up with one another. These two would put on a tremendous match that would build anticipation for John Morrison's match at the pay-per-view. In the end, John Morrison would take a ton of punishment, but would prove resilient and take home the win. John Cena and Randy Orton are set to headline the evening, with the two stars aiming to re-establish themselves in the main event scene. A highly competitive match was in store, and the fans were eager to see the resolution of who would come out on top. Unfortunately, Kane would disrupt the match, taking out the two former world champions in the process, as he reminded Brock Lesnar as well as the WWE Universe the destruction he's capable of. To open up SmackDown, Jack Swagger has approached the general manager, looking for a title shot against Sheamus. While GM GPT acknowledges Swagger's ability, Swagger is booked into a match against Christian to prove he deserves the opportunity, and that they will fill the final spot in the Money in the Bank match. Rey Mysterio is set to defend his Cruiserweight Championship against Chavo Guerrero. Rey and Chavo have put on many great matches for this very championship, and this bout is sure to be no different. Rey Mysterio came out of the gate firing on all cylinders and bringing the heat to Chavo Guerrero. However, the veteran was able to regain his composure and slow down Rey's flurry of offense. Rey would again retake control, and when it seemed he was ready to wrap up the match, Alberto Del Rio would appear at the stage, demanding Rey's attention. This would prove costly as Chavo would capitalize, hitting a gory bomb to secure the win and finally the Cruiserweight Championship. Evan Bourne and Yoshitatsu are back in the ring together, again facing the team of Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel. While Evan Bourne was successful alongside Kofi Kingston, he once again fell short alongside Tatsu. This would spark a post-match eruption, and the two partners would come to blows. The main event of the evening and the final match before the Money in the Bank pay-per-view will determine the final man who will compete in the coveted ladder match. Jack Swagger and Christian are two superstars who are familiar with not just the main event scene, but one another as well, and have had trouble maintaining the spotlight as of late. This was an intense contest that went down to the wire, with neither man giving in. However, the match came to an end when Christian wins after hitting a spear, solidifying his place in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Swagger is furious after the loss, hinting at potential unresolved issues between the two. We've made it to the inaugural Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and the show is set to open up with the Money in the Bank ladder match. But before the match could begin, Kofi Kingston is discovered beaten down and knocked out backstage, clearly unable to compete. This would leave a moment of uncertainty as the five other competitors, Wade Barrett, John Morrison, Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan, and Christian, made their way to the ring. In a shocking moment, Randy Orton would emerge as the sixth competitor, unclear if he was the attacker or just taking advantage of the opportunity. Regardless, the match began and the free-for-all for one of the most fruitful opportunities in all of WWE was underway. These matches are always so chaotic, with many different moving parts to create a concoction of destruction. All six of these competitors must endure severe pain and tribulations as they attempt to claim the world title opportunity. These stars are shoulder to shoulder, with little breathing room or moments to gather themselves. The risk is well worth the reward though, and each of these guys continued to take punishment with hopes they'd come out on top. After an absolute car crash of a match, it would be Wade Barrett with the savvy to grab the briefcase, sealing a golden opportunity for himself. The next match of the evening sees two former partners and tag team champion hopefuls, now turned bitter enemies, Evan Bourne and Yoshitatsu. Evan Bourne turned his back on Yoshitatsu after months of failed attempts to recapture some of their magic they held when their partnership began last year. The two will aim to resolve their issues as they can use any means they feel necessary to express their frustration in this Extreme Rules match. This highly personal contest would see an end when Evan Bourne hit a shooting star press to seal his victory. Rey Mysterio and Alberto Del Rio are set to face off in the next match, as this is another highly personal bout in store. The grievances between these two were allowed to be aired out on a grand stage, and they certainly didn't disappoint. Alberto Del Rio had costed Rey Mysterio his Cruiserweight Championship just days ago, and a ton of bragging rights were at stake here. And in addition, whoever could come away on top would certainly have a case to insert their name into potential title contention. This match went back and forth, and Alberto Del Rio's confident demeanor was challenged as Rey continued to bring the fight to the self-proclaimed aristocrat. Del Rio would hit just enough high-impact offense to weaken the luchador and secure a victory. Former women's champion Layla is challenging current champion Beth Phoenix in a championship rematch, this time one-on-one with no other outside elements. The Women's Championship has changed hands and bounced around in various multi-women matches, leaving uncertainty whether there is a true champion. These two ladies are looking to answer that question, and the two would throw everything they had at the other as Layla truly presented a tough opposition for the Glamazon. However, Beth Phoenix's power would bring her to prosperity, as she successfully defended her Women's Championship. The SmackDown main event has CM Punk challenging Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship. The landscape of SmackDown continues to change with the emergence of Alberto Del Rio and Wade Barrett, as well as the uncertain future of The Undertaker. Though one thing remains a constant, CM Punk continues to carve out a premier spot in the main event to contend for the championship. Sheamus, who is no stranger to championship glory from his time spent on Raw, intends on wreaking just as much havoc on SmackDown as he has anywhere else he's been. Sheamus's power was often contained by CM Punk's technical prowess and calculated offense. However, the beast that is the Celtic Warrior could only be held back for so long. Sheamus began to build heavy momentum, and CM Punk knew the match was reaching a crucial point. CM Punk would hit his signature knee strike followed by a bulldog, signaling the end for Sheamus. However, the Celtic Warrior had CM Punk scouted and was prepared to catch him with a brogue kick from out of nowhere, which would keep CM Punk down for the 3 count, securing Sheamus' spot atop of SmackDown. We've made it to the main event of the evening. Kane is defending his WWE Championship against the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. Kane has led a path of destruction since his arrival to Monday nights dating back to the year prior, and while Brock Lesnar has just recently returned after a near decade-long hiatus, he is looking like a dominant force as he has taken out multiple superstars on his way back to the WWE title picture. A battle of beasts will end the night, and one of these guys will be crowned the definite champion of WWE when it's all said and done here. Neither man hesitated to implement as much punishing offense as possible. However, the resilience shown by both competitors proved it wasn't going to be easy to keep either down. Kane isn't used to being thrown around the ring, but even the Big Red Machine couldn't help but take a trip to Suplex City. Kane wasn't going to roll over though, and proved his dominance had been justified, as he intends to extend his reign. Lesnar couldn't believe it when Kane kicked out of the F5, and the momentum shift was palpable within the arena. Kane had regained momentum and was looking to end things with a chokeslam. However, Brock Lesnar broke out, setting up a second F5 and the subsequent victory for the new WWE Champion. This was a thrilling contest, and the fans didn't know what to expect moving forward as the champion changed hands from one beast to another. As the show ends and a new WWE Champion is crowned, Eve Torres made a surprising appearance, taking part in some shenanigans I'm sure Sable would not appreciate. Back on Raw following the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, the tag team champions Edge and Christian will start the night in a title defense against the team of Michael McGillicuddy and Daniel Bryan. These two youngsters have looked good in the brief moments on Raw thus far, but a victory over two future Hall of Famers like Edge and Christian would immediately grant them some notoriety. Edge and Christian have been dominant in the tag team scene so far though, and the domination continues after another victory. As the champs reign supreme once more, many begin to wonder, is there anybody in the WWE who is able to defeat them? Backstage, Triple H confronts John Cena and Randy Orton, discussing the chaos Lesnar has caused. They agree that something must be done to stop Brock Lesnar, but disagree on how, leading to tensions among the three. Kane is seen tearing apart the locker room, seething with rage. He declares that Lesnar has awakened something in him and vows to destroy everything in his path until he gets his rematch. Zack Ryder and Mason Ryan will aim to end their grievances with the other as they'll go head-to-head in a steel cage match. The fallout between Mason Ryan and the VIP happened as quickly as the formation of their alliance, and now these two share feelings of resentment for the other, as Zack Ryder believes Mason Ryan embarrassed him and Mason Ryan believes Ryder and DiBiase Jr. never took him seriously. This personal clash featured ground-shaking offense from Mason Ryan and displayed Zack Ryder's toughness and lack of quit. While Mason Ryan dominated most of this match, Zack Ryder was in fact able to get his ass out of that cage and miraculously miraculously secure a victory. The main event brings John Cena and Randy Orton squaring off. The massive egos of these two have brought this match into play, despite their attempt to align together in an effort to take down Brock Lesnar. These two have shared many battles in the past, and they're going to add another here. In a tense match fueled by their earlier disagreement, John Cena wins clean with an FU. After the match, Cena grabs a microphone and says Lesnar's reign won't last long because he is next in line. Back on SmackDown, CM Punk is in the ring, clamoring for another shot at Sheamus' World Heavyweight Championship. Christian would put an end to this tangent, claiming CM Punk has had his shot and needs to move to the back of the line. The two would exchange verbal shots, and a match would be made for this evening. Yoshitatsu and Justin Gabriel are set to go one-on-one in the next match. Tatsu is a fantastic in-ring performer, and Justin Gabriel is a veteran to the business, making for a competitive match. Both competitors put forth a valiant effort, but Justin Gabriel would come out on top following a 450 splash. After the match, the two would share an exchange of sportsmanship in the ring, which got a strange look from Justin Gabriel's Nexus partner Heath Slater. Former women's champion Layla is back in action and looking to re-establish herself as a rightful contender. Eve Torres stands in her way though, and this match became highly competitive. Layla anticipated an easy victory, however Eve Torres was on her game and handed the former champion a loss. The main event of the night, Christian and CM Punk going one-on-one. CM Punk adamantly believes he is the rightful challenger to Sheamus' championship, and Christian feels that he has been overlooked since coming back to SmackDown. Sheamus has been on fire since coming to Friday nights, so whoever comes out on top here will need to come correct at SummerSlam if they hope to dethrone the Celtic Warrior. These two veterans put on a great match, and Christian would be the one to walk out on top, setting his sights on SummerSlam and the World Heavyweight Championship. The next episode of Raw begins with the United States Champion John Morrison cutting a promo in the ring, discussing his championship reign and declaring himself the best-looking champion in all of WWE. Cody Rhodes and Dolph Ziggler would both interrupt this promo, each eager to challenge for the title. Cody Rhodes and Dolph Ziggler are set to compete in the next match to challenge for the US Championship come SummerSlam. However, ChatGPT also included the talented Daniel Bryan. The addition of the third competitor made this already personal match into an extremely volatile situation. Each man was kept on their toes and had to be wary that anything could happen in this kind of environment, and in an intense triple threat match, Daniel Bryan looked poised to win after shocking Ziggler and Rhodes. However, the two were able to regain composure, and each man played their role in contributing exciting maneuvers. The action never settled in this triple threat, until Dolph Ziggler ended the match by surprisingly forcing Daniel Bryan to tap out. In the next match, John Cena is set to face Edge. Cena wins clean after an FU. With another victory to his credit, John Cena is looking like a real threat to the WWE Champion. The main event of the evening has got Brock Lesnar issuing an open challenge, even putting the WWE title on the line. The challenge would be answered by The Big Show, who is looking to be the one to put the Beast down. This was a huge match, both figuratively and literally. The power of the WWE Champion was clear for everyone to see when he hoisted The Big Show on his shoulders and delivered an F5 to the Giant, granting him his victory. After the match, Kane makes an appearance, coming straight for the champion. Kane would deliver a chokeslam to Brock Lesnar, leaving the champion down as Kane looks over his victim as the show comes to a close. CM Punk opens the next edition of SmackDown. In disbelief, he came up short in his match last week. CM Punk would go on to challenge Christian once more, but this time for his tag team championships. Christian would answer this challenge, but remind CM Punk that his tag team partner resides on Raw, and that they will need notice before taking any title matches, thus scheduling the tag team title match for next week. Sin Cara is back in singles competition, taking on Tyson Kidd. Kidd has been on quite the losing streak without his poster boy for miracles, David Hart Smith, on the roster, and unfortunately his bad luck continues here as Sin Cara picks up a victory. Wade Barrett starts the next segment with a cocky promo, declaring himself untouchable after winning the Money in the Bank ladder match. He promises to cash in on Sheamus when the time is right. The crowd erupts as The Miz makes his shocking return. The Miz addresses Wade Barrett, stating the briefcase belongs to him as he never lost it. He challenges Barrett to a match tonight. Randy Orton's music hits, and the Viper appears from Raw, stunning everyone. Orton states that SmackDown has become his hunting ground, and he's coming for the briefcase too. Alberto Del Rio would defeat Yoshitatsu in the next match after a punishing battle. He would then remind the fans that he is here to achieve greatness. The main event of the evening is the result of the segment from earlier, as Wade Barrett has not only got to fend off the returning Miz, but also a determined Randy Orton. There's no briefcase on the line in this match, but defeating Wade Barrett would make a great justification to take his Money in the Bank briefcase. This was a highly entertaining match that involved three cunning superstars, only adding to the unpredictability triple threats hold already. Randy Orton would hit a big RKO on The Miz, but Wade Barrett would be the one to capitalize, throwing Randy Orton out of the ring and collecting the pinfall, escaping the ring area as Orton looked on in disbelief. The next episode of Raw opens up with Dolph Ziggler cutting a promo ahead of his United States Championship match at SummerSlam. Ziggler claims he is superior to champion John Morrison, and it's only a matter of time before the crowd will recognize Dolph as the champion. Big Show and Edge are set to compete in the first match. Both of these guys are aiming to move back into the title scene that has been shaken up with Brock Lesnar's arrival. There's a ton of uncertainty regarding who will be at the front of the line following SummerSlam, and a victory here would certainly aid in providing some clarity. After a competitive match, Big Show picks up the victory over Edge. Brock Lesnar cuts a promo backstage, warning Kane about the consequences that are to come following Kane's attack last week. We've got tag team action next, as the VIP is back in the ring, this time competing against the team of William Regal and R-Truth. Ryder and DiBiase looked good, and may just earn another title shot against Edge and Christian, a team who has got the VIP's number. It was a tightly contested match, but the addition of a new enforcer, Ezekiel Jackson, may just be the difference maker Zack Ryder and Ted DiBiase need. The main event of the evening has SummerSlam opponents John Morrison and Dolph Ziggler in action against one another in a tag team match. Morrison, teaming alongside Daniel Bryan and Dolph, will be fighting alongside Cody Rhodes. This was an exciting match that featured not just the champion and the contender for the US title, but two guys to keep an eye on in the mid-card scene on Raw, as well as in Cody Rhodes and Daniel Bryan. In the end, Dolph Ziggler's team would be able to secure the victory, building some serious momentum as we inch closer to SummerSlam. Back on SmackDown, in-ring action starts the show as the newest member of the SmackDown roster, Randy Orton, is going up against Nexus member Heath Slater, looking to send a message to Money in the Bank holder Wade Barrett. The Viper dismantles Heath Slater, despite Slater's best efforts to compete with the former world champion. Rey Mysterio approaches Chavo Guerrero, claiming they have unfinished business, pointing to the Cruiserweight Championship. Chavo refuses a match with Rey, stating he has nothing to prove against him, urging him to take out some of the other cruiserweights in the division. Mark Henry is looking to add his name into the hat that is the world title picture as he challenges Sheamus here. Sheamus, refusing to back down, promptly accepted the challenge. The champion has been seemingly unstoppable here and kicked off the match quickly and with direct intent. However, Mark Henry began to take control and gain momentum until Jack Swagger would interfere, resulting in a no contest. Swagger would make his mark in this battle of potential contenders, citing his recent victories over Christian should place him in the title conversation. The main event of the evening has got the tag team championships on the line as Edge and Christian are set to defend against CM Punk and his new protege, Husky Harris. Edge and Christian have been nearly untouchable in the tag team division, and haven't had many challengers step up to them. CM Punk is leading a young and unproven Husky Harris that flashes some serious potential. While the champions certainly weren't going to make it easy, CM Punk and Husky Harris would pull off a huge victory and become new tag team champions. The final episode of Raw before SummerSlam begins with Kane in the ring. Kane claims he is not afraid of Brock Lesnar and welcomes a fight at any time. John Cena would interrupt Kane, challenging him for a spot in the SummerSlam title match, setting up the main event for the evening. The show opens up with R-Truth taking on Michael McGillicuddy. These two would put on a competitive contest, and R-Truth would come away with a much-needed victory here. Zack Ryder and Ted DiBiase Jr. are in the ring with their new enforcer, Ezekiel Jackson. The newfound confidence in the VIP has propelled the duo into challenging for the tag team titles once more. Daniel Bryan and Mason Ryan would interrupt the VIP at the stage and inform the cocky team that if they want a shot at the tag team titles, they'll have to go through the Bryan and Ryan connection first. The next match of the evening features Cody Rhodes going over on Goldust. After the match, Rhodes claims that he will be a champion again soon. The main event of the night brings the former WWE champion Kane into the ring with John Cena. John Cena could drastically change the SummerSlam match card with a convincing victory here, but Kane is determined to get his hands on Brock Lesnar, and he's not going to allow that opportunity to fade away. These two would deliver a back and forth match, as John Cena continued to fight back from Kane's menacing offense. Fans were denied a definitive winner here as Brock Lesnar made his way down to the ring, where a brawl would ensue between the champion and the challenger. However, Kane would stand tall and deliver a tombstone piledriver, foreshadowing Lesnar's WWE Championship reign come Sunday. Cruiserweight action will open up the go-home show to SummerSlam, and Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara are set to go mask to mask in a battle of aerial assaults to determine the #1 contender to Chavo's title, granting them a match on Sunday. The fast-paced action certainly didn't disappoint, and in the end the winner was Rey Mysterio, punching his ticket to SummerSlam. The Miz has got a match against Justin Gabriel next. Tensions are increasing as we get closer to Wade Barrett putting his Money in the Bank briefcase on the line in a triple threat at SummerSlam, and he's going to have to watch fellow Nexus running mate Justin Gabriel face off against one of the men gunning for his briefcase. Justin Gabriel is a fine competitor, but The Miz seems to have something to prove with his return. Thus, The Miz would be able to secure a victory here. The main event of the night will finalize just who will be the one to challenge Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship come Sunday. Mark Henry, Jack Swagger, Christian, and CM Punk are all facing off in a battle royal, and only one will remain standing and head to SummerSlam. Sheamus will be keeping a close eye on this match as he will have minimal time to prepare for his opponent. Despite great determination shown from everyone involved, the numbers would begin to fall as these main eventers were thrown out of the ring. After Mark Henry and Jack Swagger were eliminated, it came down to CM Punk and Christian, vying for the #1 contendership. Christian sent the new tag team champion packing and secured his title shot at SummerSlam with a big victory to close the show. If you're enjoying the video, consider leaving a like or subscribing to the channel. It's a massive help to continue this series. Also, for the fans of Nearfall Gaming, a Patreon account has been launched to provide extra content. Check it out. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thanks. It's time for SummerSlam, and the night is set to begin as Dolph Ziggler challenges John Morrison for the United States Championship, and these two kick off the show with a bang. Both of these competitors were determined to steal the show and walk out of here as United States Champion. John Morrison has built a great deal of momentum, but Dolph Ziggler has also been on a roll that is nothing to scoff at. The challenger truly tested the champion, and both of these guys were pushed to their limits. As the match went back and forth, the crowd couldn't decipher who was going to come out on top. Dolph Ziggler hit some high-impact moves and a zigzag, but John Morrison kept fighting. Starship Pain was landed, and John Morrison successfully defended his United States Championship. In the next match, Chavo Guerrero defends his Cruiserweight Championship against Rey Mysterio. These longtime rivals once again compete to determine the class of cruiserweights. With the long and extensive history these two have with one another, there weren't many things they haven't seen from their opponent, so this one came down to execution and resilience. Chavo has been dead set on being known as the prominent cruiserweight in the WWE, while Rey has been in hot pursuit of championship relevancy and re-establishing himself as a serious threat on SmackDown. Rey delivered many exciting moments, and Chavo's sly and cunning style carried him through the match. While their determination was on full display, someone was going to go down, and the winner of the match would be Rey Mysterio, after hitting a 619 as well as a 5-star frog splash, once again crowning him the Cruiserweight Champion. This next clash may have some major implications on the WWE, as Wade Barrett, Money in the Bank winner, has got a steep challenge as he is set to defend his briefcase and contract in a triple threat match against two dangerous former world champions. This match is shrouded in volatile elements, as anything could happen in the blink of an eye with these cunning stars in the ring. The Miz, determined to regain the coveted contract he had to relinquish due to injury, and Randy Orton, the Viper, finding a way to create an opportunity for himself and looking to capitalize, while Wade Barrett, the young upstart with tons of potential, is kicking his career off on a fast track, though is quickly realizing what life is like with a target on your back. Something had to give, and as this match came to a close, Randy Orton would deal an RKO that would secure him a victory and snatch the Money in the Bank contract from Wade Barrett's grasp. In the SmackDown main event, we have Christian and Sheamus going to battle for the World Heavyweight Championship. The landscape of SmackDown has been uber competitive in the main event scene, with a multitude of worthy competitors all vying for the right to call themselves the best. Sheamus has the current distinction of champion, but that is at stake as Christian, who has been laser focused as of late, has the opportunity to knock off the Celtic Warrior. Both of these guys gave every ounce of effort in their bodies to put the other down, with both men coming back from seriously punishing offenses. Sheamus is incredibly powerful, but Christian's exceptional in-ring IQ and execution stagnated Sheamus's aggressive approach. Christian delivered a truly admirable performance, however it would be Sheamus who would keep his opponent down for the 3 count, retaining his World Heavyweight Championship. The main event of the evening is going to be a monumental showdown as Kane and Brock Lesnar rip each other apart in Hell in a Cell for the WWE Championship. This is the second installment between these two monsters, and Kane is looking to serve up some consequences Brock Lesnar will never forget. Kane has gone mad as his reign of power and destruction is seemingly coming to a close, although he has a shot to regain his title if he can take down Brock Lesnar here. However, Lesnar has zero intentions of wavering, and he brings the fight to the former champion. Kane couldn't believe it when Lesnar kicked out of a chokeslam, but the punishment wasn't done there. These two maintained a fairly tame Hell in a Cell match as no weapons were used, but Brock Lesnar did send a massive statement with a victory over Kane and a successful defense of his WWE Championship. What's next for our champions? Find out in the next episode as we continue the series. If we can get this video up to 500 likes, I expect to see the next episode real soon. That's going to do it for me in this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy.